Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Part of the BBC Sound of 2011. Congratulations. I'm personally very happy to have you on the list. How do you feel about it?
It's exciting, isn't it? Means we've got something to live up to now.
That's what I was thinking as well, you know, especially when this was all kind of unfolding as you were making your debut album. Rather than be intimidated by it, it must just be another nice sort of, you know, something to inspire you.
Yeah, I suppose. It's slightly intimidating, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Yeah.
It was a nice surprise.
Good.
It's good, yeah.
So, how did you guys get together? I mean, an obvious question to start for people who are still learning about the band. It's early days. How did the Vaccines form?
Yeah, myself and Freddie started playing with a friend who had a rehearsal space that we could use for free. And then that friend left and stopped allowing us to use his rehearsal space for free. And then, funnily enough, Arni had a rehearsal space we could use for free, and that pretty much coincided with him joining the band. And then you
have to ask. Considering he can't actually play bass.
Yeah. and then
jokes.
and then Pete joined.
Cool.
Yeah.
The missing link, the handsome drummer.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's just so he's so good looking.
What do you mean?
I know you've got a real issue with this.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Your looks are becoming a problem. Yeah.
It's all right, man. Just keep it in the back and in the dark.
He does pull some shapes, doesn't he?
He does.
When the camera comes out.
You need it.
He comes out of his
There aren't enough charismatic drummers in the world of rock and roll these days, I don't think. You know what I mean?
There aren't.
So the first song that you guys finished and that we will hear on the record, what's the one that lasted the distance? The first sort of demo that lasted the distance?
I think If You Wanna was probably the first.
We haven't really got rid of any songs we've done.
Yeah, we haven't got rid of many. Yeah.
That's a great way to start.
All the ones we did get rid of will be on the second record.
Of course,
anyway,
of course. Lazy
yeah,
second
lazy.
album.
Yeah.
If You Want is a great way to start, and you know, for me anyway, on Radio 1, it started the journey for me too, as a broadcaster to play your records. And the first time I heard that demo, it was sent to me, and I think we might have played it actually on the night. It was so immediate. It was just, and I could tell already what you guys were trying to achieve, even though I'd only heard like 3 minutes of music. It was this kind of perfect pop music with this grand tradition of kind of indie production, whether it's the reverb of the 60s and 70s, but also this sort of sense of abandon and freedom that came from bands like, you know, whether it's Blink or Weezer, or, you know what I mean, that youthfulness.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad. I don't really have anything to add to that. You've said it well. No, exactly. That's what we're trying to achieve, really. Sort of youthful and direct guitar pop, really.
Which is amazing because you guys are so miserable in person that obviously you draw all this,
you
put it all into the music.
Exactly. There isn't any left for real life.
You talk about keeping the amount of songs that you have kind of at a minimum that appear on the album and keeping it very focused, and that makes sense hearing your music as well. Do they come easy, songs for you guys as a band? I mean, are you crafting them?
We try and limit the time we spend on them.
Well, that's interesting. Tell us a bit more about that process.
Well, I wouldn't say that's strictly true. I think we sweat and slave over making them what we see as perfect, but I think initially, if they don't grab us, I don't think we're interested in working on them to make them grab us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I think if we're not in love with the initial idea,
once you have a spark, you fan it as much as you have to.
Exactly.
It has to have it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think it's true that we don't spend much time working on them, but we don't spend much time on them if we don't think it's worth spending much time.
Yeah. This forthcoming debut album, do we have a title?
Maybe. I don't know if now's the time to.
There's a lot of head turning going on in this room. I like that. There's a lot of people looking for someone else to make it. Can I step in and make the decision? Yes, you can. Tell us
it's on your shoulders.
Have we decided?
As well.
I think that.
There's no going back.
I think the name of the record is probably going to
be... The
be...
Vaccines. Wow, that was worth waiting for.
Probably what did you expect from the Vaccines?
Oh, that's fantastic. It's again very historical in that sense. When people used to make albums, they would have either introducing, a band introduces or it ties in. The name ties into the title. It can stand alone or be a part of the overall thing.
Exactly, and it's obviously a lyric from Post-Breakup Sex.
Yeah, that's right.
So it just felt good.
What were you expecting from the Vaccines? You must have been high-five moment when you came up with that, though.
Oh yeah, an email high-five. Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. I'll have to practice that one. And we can expect, I think you were talking about 11 songs and just over 30 minutes of music.
Probably, 11 songs, 35 minutes.
Amazing.
Probably, yeah.
So really, what is we've talked a little bit about kind of the musical inspiration behind the band and everything else, but obviously in this day and age, I think music is there to expand upon. It's there to do whether it's artwork, it's performance, all this kind of overall feel. What is the overall feel of the Vaccines, do you think, at this early stage for you guys? What is it you want to represent the band as an overall sort of vibe?
I think for me, certainly, the band, I think, feels like a part of my youth. I think we feel quite youthful. Like our songs are, the songs I think you'd expect from 4 young men, and I think we play in a youthful manner, and I don't know.
How have you felt about the live show so far? You've done a few.
Great.
We've done a few now, they've been really fun, haven't they? Progressively they're getting better as well. It seems that the proportion of curious people to people genuinely into the band is shifting, so that now we're playing to rooms full of people who genuinely are there for a good night, and it's just really fun.
So obviously, you know, there's a lot of anticipation for the record. There's a lot of people who want to know what the vaccines sound like, and you know, call that hype, call it whatever. I mean, how have you felt last few months while that's been building?
I think we feel pretty fortunate for the fact that people are talking about us, but I think
I'm very grateful people to come to see us.
And that people care. But I suppose on the other side, on the other hand, rather, it can be a poison chalice, because I worry that we'll never really be able to fulfil a lot of people's expectations. But we don't pay too much attention to it, and we made a record we're really happy with, and so I think that's the most important thing. It's the record we wanted to make before we got any validation from anyone else, so I think that's all we can really do, isn't it?
So musically speaking, you know, being in the band, what's been the most exciting part for you this year, for 2010?
I think for me, the most exciting thing has probably been seeing the crowds get bigger or the crowds get more, you know.
Yeah, I spent an afternoon in the studio when everyone had gone home.
Practicing your dance moves.
Spent practicing my dance. But
in the mirror.
In particular?
I just listened back to the record, and that was super exciting.
Oh,
Did
that's
you?
a moment.
Really?
That's a great moment.
It's
That's
amazing.
You shouldn't have done that,
Because
because
I was
it'll
really,
never sound as good.
But it sounded that good once, and that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
exactly.
Most musicians don't even get that. They finish a record, it gets mastered, they go on the road, and you know, you'd be amazed how many times I ask bands, when was the last time you listened to your album? And they're like, when it was mixed. Really excited to have you on the list. I mean, it's, you know, you're obviously a band that I'm a really big fan of already, and I can't wait to hear the album in full from start to finish. What I've heard's great, and I'm glad that you're representing, you know, really good, really great, timeless guitar pop, you know,
Cool.
at this time.
Thanks, man.